So we're in the middle of learning Adam Le'amal Yulad. And we started this because this was one of the places that the Rebbe sent us to learn about the Tzimtzum. So last time when we were about to finish, so I wanted to connect it back to the Tzimtzum. And what is he telling us? He's telling us that for a person to reveal from Havaya to Elokim, which means in the soul, in the psyche, to reveal from the Keter, which he called Chafetz Chesed here. Where did he say this? Where's the Chafetz Chesed? Where did he say it? It's here? Oh, he said it here. Oh, it should be after this. Chafetz Chesed, the Teva Tov Leitim. So we said that Chafetz Chesed means that's the Atik. In Chassidus we say Chafetz Chesed is Atik. So what does Atik have? Atik, when it's enclosed in Arich, becomes what we call the Mochastima, which in Chassidus is called Avram, or Sechel HaNe'ela Mikol Rayon. We're going to learn this. That was the mimer that I was going to learn with you on Friday when you couldn't come. So there he says, he brings the Gemara, the Alter Rebbe brings the Gemara that says that Kol HaKoreh Le'Avraham Avram over be'aseh, Shneimar lo yikra od shimcha Avram ki im Avraham yikra shimcha. But by Yaakov it's not that way. By Yaakov you can continue to call him Yaakov even though his name is Yisrael. So what does that mean? It means that there's different levels in Yaakov. Yaakov has Yaakov and Yisrael, but Avraham, the moment they became Avraham, you can't go back to his old name. So what did the old name refer to? The old name referred to what we call mochastima, to a concealed mind, which is also sealed. And it's called sechel HaNe'ela Mikol Rayon, that the person doesn't have access to the seichel that he has above his consciousness. And so that seichel, we said that's like Hashem in the world. Hashem in the world is like I don't have access. When I look at the world, I don't see Hashgacha. And I don't see it per se. I have to learn about it in order to begin to understand that there is Hashgacha. But on the face of it, there's no understanding that there's Hashgacha. So what happened when Avram became Avraham? So the Hey is the Hamshacha. He received 5 more organs, it's called. Which organs? The organs of the Yesod. And that's what it says, that Hashem made a bris with him. If he made a bris with him, it means that now he has Yesod, and now he can express these higher functions of the psyche that he wasn't able to express until now. Or to put it another way, that Chazal say in another way, they say, Yitzitz alav ba'al abira. La tzitz, so what is it? Where's the tzitz? The tzitz is here in front of the mochastima. That's how it's described. So Yitzitz alav ba'al abira, and bira is like from the shon of brit also. And bira is also from the shon of expressing something. Like bereshit bara. Bara is to take out, like bar. So he showed him a way, Avram discovered the way in which to express these higher functionalities of the psyche. So these are different ways of saying the same thing. It says once Avram discovered how to do it, you can't call him Avram anymore. Because if you call him Avram, so you're saying that he's still mochastima, he's still satum. Gal na'ul achoti kala, gal na'ul ma'yan chatum. That's the description in Shir Hashirim that he was of how Avram was before he discovered Hashem. To discover Hashem means that I can express these higher functionalities. What's the main purpose of these higher functionalities? First of all, to live with Hashem. That until Avram discovered this, there was no way. So now he says that this whole process of taking out from the Sechel HaNe'ela Mikol Rayon, from Avram, into Avraham, from Havaya into Elokim, here he calls it Havaya and Elokim, that's called Melacha. That's the big chudash that he has here. And I was learning this with my wife on Shabbos, so she had a great gematria. She said the Melacha is from the word mal, first of all, which means to speak, to express. But then she said, but then if you continue, Aleph Chaf Hey is Yud Ke Vav Ke. So Melacha is mal Havaya. It's like to take from Havaya into Elokim. So that was a very interesting idea. So everything that we do, Melacha, is really to bring down from the higher Seichel into the consciousness, into how a person is. And he says that that's what והיינו על ידי עניין המלאכה ואופן העשייה למטה, שעל זה נאמר 6 ימים תעבוד ועשית כל מלאכתך, והכוונה הוא שיעשה מלאכתו באמונה. And so the main point of melacha is to do it with emunah. So we said there's a pshat of emunah. The pshat of emunah is that a person does his business dealings faithfully. But then he says that no, that it's much more than that. על פי פשוט הוא דכל עבודה המלאכה שאדם עושה בגשמיות היא המלאכתו באמונה, שיאמין בו השם, שהוא עזן ופנז בו יתברך עמו בעדו לברכה, וזהו שפרש רש"י בשם המחיתה, כשתבוא שבת ימיך כאילו כל מלאכתך עשויה, שלא תהרהר אחר מלאכתך. That's another way of saying it. והיינו, כאשר בא השבת צריך אדם להיות במנוחה גמורה, כאילו כל מלאכתו עשויה, והוא מצד האמונה פשוטה שיאמין בה השם. That's what it means, כל מלאכתו באמונה. That when you say kol melachti asuya, when I do all my melacha, that's called reaching emunah. So what he's saying here is that there's levels of melacha that you can do. You can do one melacha after another, and that's only from what we call chafetz chesed. But you can also kol melachtecha asuya. It's as if you did everything together. That he calls emunah. Va'inyan al derech chasidot. So, but now, this is the Hasidic interpretation. That the main thing is always to be dealing with emunah, like Abraham. That the main thing that he did is that all his time was dedicated to thinking about how Hashem is running the world. That's what he saw all the time. That's what it means, melachto be'emunah. It needs toil. Like we said, it's the highest level. It's above the mind, it's super consciousness, it's a keter. Because it's a makif, that on the one hand, it's something that's super conscious, on the other hand, you can bring it down. The example of it being a paradox in this sense is that the thief, when he goes to steal, he calls out to Hashem, שהוא מאמין בהשם, שמבקש מהשם שיצליח מגנבתו. On the one hand, he believes in Hashem. On the other hand, he's willing to do something against what Hashem says, because emunah is not connected to ratzon. Emunah is higher than ratzon. So his ratzon can be against what Hashem wants, and yet he still believes that Hashem is with him. והבקשה היא באמת, שהרי אינו חפץ שיתפסו אותו. He's not making a joke. He's not saying, oh, Hashem, help me, and it's just a joke because I really want to get caught. No, it's for real. He really thinks that he wants Hashem to help him. He really asks for real. But said the Valshu neged ratzon Hashem. At the same time, he does something that's against Hashem's will. אשר כמו כן, הרי כל אחד ואחד יכול למצוא בעצמו, לפעמים מבקש עזר השם, הדבר שהוא הפך רצון העליון. And every person can find himself that sometimes he's a thief in this sense. What's the thief? And on the one hand, you say, I believe in you, Hashem. On the other hand, you go and you do at the same time something that you know Hashem doesn't want you to do. All this is because emunah is a makif. And a makif is not irrational. It's irrational. It's super rational. And that's the toil that a person has to do with emunah, to bring the makif of emunah into his pnimius, to feel it. In other words, to sense Hashem's hashgacha in the world. And this is what it means for a person to do things by emunah. First of all, there shouldn't be any kind of prohibited act involved in everything that he does. So first of all, the melachto be'emunah means that he brings the emunah in so that he not only says, I believe in Hashem, but everything that he does is imbued with this belief in Hashem. And being imbued with the belief in Hashem means that I put myself where my faith is. That in what I believe, that's how I act. And I'm not duplicitous. And on the one hand, that's a big word. On the one hand, I say I believe in Hashem, and on the other hand, I go and do something that's against what Hashem wants. It's not only that he doesn't steal, he doesn't cheat, he doesn't do anything like that in his business dealings. Because all this is prohibited in the sense that it's captured by the klipa, by the sitra, by the other side. But rather, sorry, this is not rather. Also, that he's careful not to say something that could be interpreted the wrong way, not to cheat with his heart. The main thing is to understand that in the end, I'm making just a vessel, and it's Hashem's bracha that brings the wealth, it brings the sustenance. And then Hashem blesses him in everything that he does, and it doesn't matter what he does. That's the main thing. Means that he doesn't have to find something specific. Okay? It's advice that people give all the time now. They say that you don't have to. That's why you just have to do something that you're good at. It doesn't matter what you do. Don't do something you're not good at. It doesn't make any sense, because that also is not called a vessel. If you can't make a vessel that doesn't have holes, it's not a vessel. So you got to do something that you understand, something that you know about. But it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything, and Hashem could still give the bracha. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to see bracha. שעל-ידי זה ממשיכים בחינת מלאכה מלמעלה, וזהו שאמור הזל, גדולה מלאכה שמכבדת את בעליה. And like we said, מכבדת, ידוע דכבוד, הוא בחינת מקיף. And the מלאכה itself becomes a makif. It itself becomes a vessel. והמלאכה שמכבדת בעליה, שעל-ידי מלאכה של מטה, כשהיא על פי תורה, ממשיכים בחינת המלאכה שלמעלה. And so just like it's a vessel here, or it's a makif here, it's a worthy vessel for the yamuna, which is a makif above. So this is an interesting thing that it says that you have to have some kind of makif below in order to attract the makif above. Usually, what would you say? You would say that you need a vessel in order to attract the makif. You need a pnimi in order to attract the makif. Why does he say that it has to be a makif here also? Because he wants to say it doesn't matter which malacha you do. It's a paradox. As long as it's a vessel, it can attract wealth. It doesn't matter what this vessel is. But second, and then everything is enlightened for him. Obviously, the main thing that it's enlightened with is that he sees Hashem in it. But he also says here, divert is bayim alichtike. It seems like a light for him, the world. He sees the truth, because when Hashem created man, what did he do? The truth said he's all full of lies. He's all full of shkarim. So don't create him. So what did Hashem do? He took the truth and he threw it down onto the ground. And he threw it down. He threw emes down into the world. Why? In order so that truth can grow from the ground. How does it grow from the ground? Through man's work. The toil that we do is in order to reveal, to grow the truth out of where it's concealed in the earth. Meaning every time that you make a vessel, what you're doing is you're revealing the truth that was thrown into reality. It's like that there's goodness and there's truth inside reality, but it's waiting for man to bring it out. And truth is not natural. That's what it's saying. The truth is not something. Truth is a chiddush. It's something that grows. In the same way, goodness also, because nature is not good. It doesn't. But through man's work, it turns into goodness. It's called. It has like goodness concealed in it, but you need the work in order to bring it out. זהו דכתיב סוף דבר, כן, את האלוקים רב, את האדם ואת מצוותיו שמור, כי זה כל האדם. That in the end says Koheles, the main thing is to do mitzvos. The סוף של כל דבר ודבר שנברא בעולם, הנה הכל נשמע, סוף דבר הכל נשמע, the end, meaning the purpose of everything is to be heard, von alles hört sich, כי את אלוקים ירא, from everything you should hear, הכל נשמע, everything should lead you to the understanding, to hearing, that אלוקים ירא, עבודת אלוקים הוא ביראה, that you need to serve Hashem with יראה, דאהבה הוא קירוב וקרוב הרי יש בזה מדרגות וכולי, because the difference between Ava and Yira is that with Ava there are levels of being close to something, but with Yira is always distance. So once you have any distance, it's distant. So all the Yira in this sense is like the same. אבל ביראה הוא יותר אמת, ולכן את האלוקים ירא. But the main thing that Yira has is that it's closer to truth, and therefore, in order to get the truth, a person has to have fear of God. Well, what does it mean? Why if I have love, I won't have truth? Because this is al-kol p'shem tchasei ahava. Because when I have love for something, I can conceal the truth. But with yira, there's no concealment of the truth. אמנם מפני היראה, הרי כל עבודה לחטא ייחשב. וזאת העצה, הוא ואת מצוותיו שמור. But if you have really yira, then anything that makes you distant from Hashem is like a chet. So what can you do? So the only thing you can do is mitzvotav shmor, ki zeh kol ha'adam. The main toil that a person can do, if he has yiras shamayim, is to do mitzvos. This needs more explanation. I'm not sure. Maybe he'll explain it more later. Ki zeh kol ha'adam. Ha'adam hu adam ha'yadua. Which man is this? Al dmut ha'kiseh, dmut k'merei adam. That's what it says. Atem kruim adam ve'enu umat ha'olam kruim adam. Because they were named after a Yaakov, who's the figure on the chariot. Whereas the nations of the world, they don't come from there. They don't have a nefesh elokis. Nefesh elokis, that's the figure on the chariot. The nations of the world, they come from the Adam that's in the Chayos. And that they come from the angels. Their nefesh comes from the angels that are carrying the chariot. And they all have a pnei adam to them. They all have a face of man to them. So it looks the same. In the face, Jews and non-Jews look exactly the same. But the source of the soul is in a different place. That the source of the Jew, atem kruim adam, is from dmut kemarei adam, from that Adam, from Yaakov. That's why it says that all the Jewish souls they're excavated, they're like extracted from under the chair that's on the chariot. Is there a connection? Anybody ever? Is there a connection between chair and chariot?
Yeah, just because it's similar.
Chair is like in French, it's chaise. I think I don't know how it became chair, but chariot. Isn't chariot like to sit down also?
Yeah, as I'm saying, it's like a similar thing.
על ידי העבודה הזו הוא הגילוי דאדם העליון. What?
Did you stand up to drive it?
No, that was the old ones. With the regular chariots, you sit down. That's what it says. ועל דמות הכיסא, דמות כמראה אדם. Where do they all get this? They all get it. I think they all got it from the same source. This image of the chariot of Ezekiel. Anyway, this is זהו הגילוי דאדם העליון. This is like Adam Arishon and the higher supernal man. דעלו תכלית ועיקר הכל הוא עבודה בפועל שתהיה על פי דיני דרכי התורה. כמאמר, אין חכם כבא ניסיון, ועיקר חוכמה ותכליתה הוא כשבא בניסיון בפועל טוב ועשייה דווקא, שעל ידי זה ממשיכים בחינת מלאכה שלמעלה. So, by doing, toiling below with mitzvos, it's like he's doing the same thing that Hashem did when he created the world. That he brought from Shem Havaya into Shem Elokim. We have a few more minutes. You're davening here? Oh, yeah. So we said that when Hashem created the world, it's also called melacha, right? That he did melachos. Before that, he did all his toil, all his melacha. And we said melacha is to bring down from Shem Havaya to Shem Elokim. It's almost like you're saying that the 6 days made Havaya. It's also say Hashem did for 6 days. But it's also like the 6 days made Havaya. What do you mean the made Havaya? The made Havaya here in this world. Meaning they brought down from Havaya as he is above the world, as he's transcendent beyond the world, and they brought him down to Elohim, which is a name that's imminent in the world. The Sheshet Yamim HaKavanah is Shisha Midot Elionot. These 6 Sfirot from Chesed to Yesod, they brought it down. V'hainu ditavut ha'olamot alidei midot ha'elionot. In the same way that a person's world, meaning a person's life, is created or is dependent on his midos. It's like saying that the life that you build is first of all based on character. It doesn't matter how much you know, and it doesn't matter how much how maybe holy you are in your mind. If it can't come down through the midos into reality, so it's like it's like nothing. It's like you're a brain in a vat. You don't really create a world for yourself. You don't really create what we'd say, create a name for yourself. Tov Shem Mishem and Tov. What does that mean? That the good name comes from the good oil. So people understand. Tov Shem Mishem and Tov. The name is better than good oil. But it's like Yitrona Or Mina Choshech. That light that comes out of darkness is the best. So same here is Tov Shem Mishem and Tov. The good name is one that comes from good oil. And the oil is always a symbol for how the sustenance comes down from the mocha stima into the conscious mind. There's two mashalim for it. One is that it's like a neviah, it's like a wellspring that the drops come out one by one in the beginning, and the other one is like Zkan Aaron Ered al Pi Midotav, that Aaron's beard that went down to his chest, and there's like drops of oil coming down. It's an image in Tehillim in Kuf Lamed Gimel. What's it trying to say? It's trying to say that the beard is another avenue or conduit of bringing down the super consciousness into the consciousness. And when it comes down that way, it's called Kashem Atov Yored as Zakan Aaron. And it's Dafka Aaron because it's Isha Chesed, and it starts with Chesed, it comes down, it starts with, and Chesed is the first one that brings it down. In any case, to make a name for yourself in the world, you have to have midos. In the same way, the Hashem, when He created the world, what did He want? He wanted begin Madunle. So He wanted to be known. So if you want to be known, if you want to have a name, and what's your name? In this case, he has to have this name Elokim. Why? If there's no Elokim, there won't be an Havaya. Nobody will ever come to know Him as Havaya. So he has to have a world which is built out of these 6 emotive faculties, the 6 days of creation, and they bring down the name Havaya. And without that, I wouldn't know about Havaya. If there was no creation, then no neshama would know Hashem's name. Like, we wouldn't know it. We'd be one with it, but we couldn't know it. To know it, there has to be some kind of distance. There has to be some kind of yira, like we said. וכמו שכתוב, זכור רחמך וחסדיך כי מאוילם הם. רחמים וחסדים שהם מבחינת המידות שייכים אל העולמות. They relate to the world. They're called the worlds. והנה אמרו רז"ל 2000 שנה קדמה תורה לעולם. When you talk about the intellectual faculties, so the intellectual faculties are like the Torah. It's not the world. And the Torah is 2,000 years, Chazal say 2,000 years before the creation of the world. I don't mean to say that they sat there with a calendar and they marked off the days from when Hashem started learning Torah to when He created the world. What do they mean to say? The Alpayim הם שני אלפים, שהם שני אלפים, כמו שכתוב, ואלפך חוכמה ואלפך בינה. So the alefim here is like 2 letters aleph. And there's a pasuk in Eov that says, alefcha chokhmah. And then it's added here, I don't know if you have it there, Yaakov, but 52. So in Shabbos, it adds, in the Masechet Shabbos, in Kuf Dal, when it talks about the letters, it gives a chiddush, that based on the pasuk in Eov, alefcha chokhmah, I will teach you wisdom. There's also alefcha bina. It's not in the pasuk in Eov. The pasuk in Eov is just alefcha chokhmah. Chazal learn alefcha bina. That bina is also taught. In any case, chokhmah and bina are considered alefim, alefcha, things that are taught. So what do they say? What do these 2,000 years, which are really 2 Alefim years, represent. They represent Chokhmah and Bina. So the Torah is Chokhmah and Bina. And that came before the world. אבל תורה שהיא בחוכמה ובינה הרי קדמה לעולם. The Torah is not the world. Okay? You don't learn the Torah from the world. You can't learn the Torah from the world. For all you want, you maybe can learn some good behavior, but you can't learn basar v'chalav. You can't learn nida. You can't learn any of these things from the world. It doesn't make any sense. You certainly can't learn this chassidus. You couldn't learn that chokhmah and bina are chokhmah alefcha bina. You couldn't learn that. וזהו כששת ימים עשה, שמידות העליונות שהם נקראים מלאכה. So these midos are called melacha because we said they fill the world with havaya. אם כן, הנה זה דל ידי מלאכה שלמטה ממשיכים מבחינת מלאכה למעלה, הוא דל ידי תיקון המידות שאדם מתקן מידותיו הטבעיים, הנה על ידי זה ממשיכים מבחינת המלאכה שלמעלה. So in order for a person to really be able to express both his higher functionality, the higher functionality of his psyche, the moch hastima, the concealed mind, the talents that he doesn't know about yet, and in order to reveal Hashem in the world, you have to first of all rectify the malachas, and the malachas are the midos. So this explains to us why the early generations, as much as they knew Hashem, they couldn't reveal Hashem in the world. Noach knew Hashem. He even knew Havaya. But he couldn't reveal him in the world. Why? Because there's no avodas midos. And the chiddush by Avraham is that he's the first person to act with chesed. That was Avraham's chiddush. The moment that there's chesed, so the midos can begin pulling down this higher name, this revelation of Hashem. But you can't reveal Hashem if there's no actions done with the emotive faculties. So the early generations, what they didn't have yet was that they didn't have this idea of tzedakah. They didn't have this idea of doing chesed with other people. And that's why Hashem, everything around Abraham's development is with the chesed that he does. Especially the chesed that he does with the 3 angels that come to him. That's like the example, the preeminent example, because what in the world does an angel need from me? He doesn't need anything, and yet he still does chesed even with them, and he does the utmost chesed, and because of that he's zoche to reveal himself as Yitzchak. Imam zoche to begin revealing Hashem in the world. And that's when Hashem says, Ki yadativ leman yitzaved et beito acharav לעשות צדקה ומשפט חסד. And so when Hashem says, I have to reveal to Avraham my hashgacha, I have to reveal to Avraham how I run the world. So he goes and tells him about Sodom, that he's about to destroy Sodom. Why? Because Avraham, he's acting to reveal me in the world. So what does it mean to reveal me in the world? That he has to know how the world runs. והעניין הוא דינם ורזה לעולם האדם רך כחנה, אבל עליה קשה כארז. רך כחנה הם מידות התיקון של מידות הקדושה. וקשה כארז הם מידות התוהו של מידות טבעיים. So about this Chazal say that until Avraham, all the midos in the world were tohu. That's really what they mean when they say that the world was 2,000 years of tohu. The world, there was a world. What are you talking about? What, it didn't function, gravity didn't function, plants didn't grow. What are you talking about, tohu? You planted a tomato, you got an avocado. It didn't work that way. It worked, everything was fine. The problem was that man was in a state of tohu. Okay? Because man was in a state of tohu, meaning his faculties were in the state of tohu, which means he was kashe ka'eres. Everybody was harsh towards each other. There was no loving kindness. There was no acts of chesed. Came Avraham, the nefesh asher asu becharan. It says that's the beginning of the 2,000 years of Torah. And what the Torah does is the Torah changes a person's midos from being harsh and difficult to being soft and malleable. And the moment that it becomes the midos of tikkun, midos of goodness, of loving kindness, and it begins with Avraham, Avraham itchil ha'ir, so then Hashem's name begins to be known in the world. That's what he means. The tohu shemidot tivim. Okay, the way that nobody figured out until Avraham how you change, meaning they said, the way I was born, that's how I have to be. Okay, today they want to go back to this. There's a whole mishigas now in the world. Going back to nature. Nature is tohu. They don't understand that nature is tohu. Nature is not human. They see human as negative. Why do they see human as negative? Because they don't have Torah. If you don't have Torah, you think that human beings ruin the world. It's not true. That a human being who has Torah, he doesn't ruin the world. He builds the world. A person who doesn't have Torah then becomes tohu. And the only thing that it'll do is ve'adu betohu and anafim mitpardin. That there's no ability to even connect between people in tohu. So you start with people being homosexual, that they can't connect anymore with their opposite. Because to connect with their opposite, you have to be very soft. And for a man to connect with a woman, he has to learn how to be soft. It's much easier for a man to connect with a man. What's the problem here? We're having a good time. Why? Because I can yell at you and scream at you, and you take it well, right? But Chaz v'Shalom, I would teach women this way. Break apart in 2 minutes. It's much harder to be with a woman. Because it's your opposite. So on the one hand, if there's sexual attraction, it makes it easier. But in day-to-day life, there's no sexual attraction. Day-to-day life is you have to learn how to have good midos. And that's difficult. Umidot de tikkun and b'itkallalut. It's not to say that to be with another man you don't have to be metaken some of your midos, but certainly not the same level. It's much, much easier. Umidot de tikkun and b'itkallalut. The main thing is that it has to be a complete opposite of you in order for there to be inter-inclusion, for there to be iskalulus. And iskalulus is what makes a midah really soft. It makes it malleable. It makes it understanding to other people and able to do loving kindness. And only through that can Hashem begin to appear in the world. The kol midah klula mishar midot. That's what it means that when Avraham came onto the scene, we began the world of tikkun. We moved from the world of tohu into the world of tikkun. So we'll continue tomorrow. God willing.
If you come.